There it is. How's it going? Rightio. So I thought I'd do a live because obviously a lot of people have been asking me about how do I have such awesome hair and beard and stuff. And so I thought the easiest way to tell everybody about it is to just do a live stream and then tell you, I sucked in. I'm going to wait till the end to tell you. So anyway, today is Sunday the 22nd, which is a very auspicious date for me because I was born on the 22nd. And so it's like a month birthday type thing, only in another month. So the moon is currently in Capricorn, and in about 7 minutes, it will transit into Aquarius. So if you don't know this sort of stuff, well, then how the hell do you ever expect to grow good hair? You know, like if you don't know astrology, then you don't know nothing. I mean, astrology is the basis of science. And I actually was going to title this video a discussion about the seasons because that's the thing I keep getting asked all the freaking time on the Facebook is how do seasons work? Tell us about eclipses and stuff on the flat earth. And I get it every freaking day. So I thought I'm just going to make a video. And to me, it should be just so straightforward and obvious how we have seasons, how the sun cycle works. But even to a lot of flat earthers, it is still a bit of a tricky question. So while I'm narcissistically preening myself and boasting about my hair, which just grows out of my head, I did wash it today because it is the weekend and I had plenty of time to let it dry. And it feels fantastic. I was going to go and put a hairband in it before just to tie it back. And as I walked into the bathroom and the sunlight and the wind was streaming through, it was like, damn, it just feels so freaking good. I don't know if you know, but for many years, I went shaving my head, just shaving it because hair was too hard to take care of. I just had a goatee and shaved and kept it off. But the secret to growing good hair is actually, as you might suspect, letting it grow. I know, right? I know, it's weird, but truth be told, that's the answer. And it is still it's a very warm day today. It's so warm. It's actually to the point I've got the air conditioning going. So if you can hear a buzzing in the background, that'll be that. If you hear anything trying to bang the door in, that'll be the cat trying to get back inside. I've sort of just let her just enjoy the great outdoors for the moment. It feels cooler already. Man, hair can be really hot and insulative of the body heat, especially when you start doing a live stream. And I've not had a good day. I woke up not feeling very well this morning. I'm pretty sure it's got something to do with the bottle of red wine I drank last night. So it's been a lovely, lazy Sunday and getting so hot, I've got to put the air conditioning on. And it's not even summer yet. It's still October, but I guess you could say October 22nd has moved us into that next phase. And in fact, even the sun is about to jump into Scorpio. So it pays to pay attention to the signs and seasons because that's what the sky clock is all about. And if you do know those things, then you'll also know then the correct time to be doing things like trimming the hair, mowing the grass, trimming the bushes, and whatever various things you like to do in the garden. This is how I learned about the moon and the growing cycles associated with the moon. many, many moons ago. In fact, you could say 3 decades ago. So when I started paying attention to the moon cycles, I've always been interested in the moon. And so if you know the moon chart, which you can get one, I highly recommend them. I can give you directions where to buy them. It's on the bottom of the calendar there to the fellow who makes them, Thomas Zimmerman, who must be related to Bob Dylan. He puts out a fresh one every year. You could probably order them in advance even. I'd say that next year's is already made. So he tells us when, or the chart tells us, when the next eclipse is going to happen, when the moon jumps into the next sign, zodiacal sign. And it is an interesting thing. Unfortunately, because I'm on the laptop, I don't think that has a zoom function at all. I doubt highly that it does. But I'll just point out a few little things about it. So this is the date, the month, October. Today is the 22nd, so it's the Sunday. It's exactly a half moon at 2:31 p.m. So we've already gone through a half moon phase. We're all now on the waxing gibbous side of the half moon. In the last 3 hours, at 5:07 p.m., it goes from Capricorn into Aquarius. And then at 7:34 p.m. on Tuesday the 24th, it will move into Pisces. It's just the way the moon works, whereas the sun goes from one constellation to another, or zodiac sign, the zodiacal. So it goes into Scorpio 3:21 a.m. on Tuesday morning, to be precise. So it's unusual for it to jump into another zodiac sign on the 24th, but that's just how it works. Most of them are done on the 21st, 22nd, but as you can see, well, when it went from Virgo into Libra, it did that on the 23rd, on the equinox, and that was at 6:21 a.m., and the moon was exactly a half phase at 5:33 a.m. So it's a great thing to have a moon chart to know where you are, what you're doing, how you're living, and what's going on in the world. I'm really stoked how many viewers are watching right now too. That's awesome. Put exactly 0 and 0 comments, because that's what happens when you do it at 5 p.m. in Australia. Is most of the rest of the other half of the world are all sleeping. Because if you look on this chart, this is our time and date calculator. So if that's 12 o'clock, we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 p.m. 5 p.m. there is, it's 5 a.m. over in California. So some of the Californians might be actually starting to wake up about now. Who would know? Hang on, does it work like that? No, it don't work like that. It's a time and distance. You need the slide rules on it to get it correct. Anyway, so I am here to talk about the seasons. That's the main thing I actually wanted to talk about. And to do that, actually, I was going to use the whiteboard, which means I'm eventually going to have to rub out one of the most iconic drawings I've ever done, but that's the price you pay when you move on to the next. Have I even had a sip? I haven't even had a sip of this yet. Yeah, that first sip had already got warm. Didn't bring the stuff to dampen it either. Bear with me for 2 seconds, since all 0 viewers are bearing with me. See, if I wasn't doing this as a live stream, I would have just pressed pause for that. Anyway, you moisten her up a little bit. She's a lot easier to rub off. No pun intended. Although some people might see it differently. Damn, she's still hard to rub off. Why don't we get a cleaner rubber? Maybe next time not leave it up for so long to bake in this heat. Damn it. Ugh. Got another squirt. There we go. And leave that C there for copyright. And there we go. Something I should have prepared earlier. Rightio. Now that I've done that, I don't actually need it because we've got a map of the Earth already over there. I'm still waiting on a new one coming too. I actually bought the new one from Flat Earth Banjo. Is it USA, Japan, Argentina? I always forget his first name, Eddie Alencar. Highly recommend his channel. Everybody go and watch Flat Earth Banjo. That's what I put into YouTube search and it comes up and find him. And he sells products. So soon I'm going to have a bigger map and it's going to be blue. So I'm looking forward to that. As you can see, I've got a 24-hour clock. Most important aspect of understanding how everything works on the flat Earth, because that is a 24-hour clock as well. So if I was to think more correctly and say, because I'm living here and it's now 5 p.m., what I should have really done is gone 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that would be 5 a.m. over there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's doing my heading. I don't know how to use it. But anyway, so as we know, the sun goes around the equator, and that is easily proven by the fact that we have a 24-hour clock. And the 24-hour clock, when it says 12 p.m. here, so obviously now the hour hand is gone, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a little bit, 5 and 15. Actually, it's not even 15. It's hard to tell 24-hour time. That's 15 there, so it's 5, 12. And if I look on this clock, it says it's 5:14 p.m. So this may have lost a minute. I'm not so sure the batteries I got for it were that fresh, but anyway. The fact remains that our hand pointing at the 5 is now here. That's my local time. So if you're able to put that onto the clock face, that's where that hour hand would be pointing. I need to turn the clock a little, or if I was to cut that out and put it onto the clock face, I just rotate it until that matches the hour hand. Even that doesn't work. No. The hour hand has to match there at 12 p.m. My bad again. I'm getting it. That's all a big learning curve all the time for everybody, including myself. So, for people who give us flat earthers a bit of a hard time because we don't know a lot of stuff, we don't know many things. Hey, we are still learning. So bear that in mind, please, as we discuss the seasons. And I think the easiest way to do it, we've all seen the meme. Let's hope this pen works. Really. Chuck that one in the non-working pile. This one should. Yep. Right, yeah. So let's say that Earth was a disk. It's not, but it's the representation of the Earth as we know it And the reason this map is drawn this way, obviously, is because here in the North Pole is where Polaris sits. So Polaris is the North Pole star. He's even expert at drawing stars too. I deserve some sort of artistic award. They've coloured in, hide the mistakes. Sweet. Right, so if we just say boom, 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 there's our Earth. North Pole here is the centre, the lining of that. Then we've got, maybe we need colours. We'll do a red equator. We'll do a red equator. Oh, that's a perfect equator. We'll do an orange Tropic of Cancer. And we'll do an orange Tropic of Capricorn too, because going through the pens to see which ones work is a bit of a bother. So the sun, we'll call this the big sunny sun. It's going around like the hour hand. So it goes around all the time. So it's always going around above the equator. But this is where it gets a little bit tricky. So if the equatorial path is here, Tropic of Cancer is about there, and then the Tropic of Capricorn is around there. The sun is always going around this path. Okay. That is the true path of the sun. But because we have above us, and it's impossible to draw a picture of it, but let's just say that is our firmament there. Because the sun is spiraling around, we'll do it all the way out here, and it goes all the way up, and then it spirals back down again. The apparent path it makes in the firmament steps that. I think I killed it. Too much blue into it. The apparent path it makes, because it gets higher and lower, makes it make a bigger path on December 22nd. That's December 22nd there. That there is the two equinoxes, which, as we know, are September 22 and March 22. We'll just not set March 2 at all. And then we've got this one here is Cancer. No J in Cancer. June 22nd. So we've got June, September, March, December, and that's the path. The sun spirals up, sun spirals down. So when we've got the sun here and here and here, while we're here, going around and around and around, that's the size circuit it makes in the firmament to give the apparent path of the sun. So that's why we see it out in the Tropic of Cancer. Tropic of Capricorn for the summer solstice here in the south, because see how it's south, it's outwards. And then when it goes up and makes a smaller and smaller path in the firmament, it hits the Tropic of Cancer, and that's why you have summer in the inner hemisphere or inner part of the Earth around here, because the sun is making the most direct light through the least amount of atmosphere. So to draw that to scale, the firmament is really like only this high above. It's really, really, really low. But the sunlight spreading out straight downwards creates summer. Outwards Well, there's no outwards, is there, in the middle? So we can scrap that. On the equator, it's always summer, tropical all the time. And then in the Tropic of Cancer, again, I got that wrong. Tropic of Capricorn, it's always summer on the tropic, but the indirect light shining in towards the north creates winter. Winter there again. Sure. So the southern winter is when it's above Tropic of Cancer. Spring and autumn, as it's going either way, either side of the equinoxes. Southern summer, northern winter. The atmosphere is the basically ruling property of why we have the seasons. So it should be pretty straightforward, I would hope, for any unfortunately I'm lately calling them globe turds. It's a nicer word than globe tards. It's just got that slight little bit nicer ring to it. However, suffering an injury, and I hate to suffer an injury because this one's one of these ongoing ones that annoys the shit out of me. And it's in my left arm too, which is my working arm. I said working. Yeah. I banged my elbow really hard at work a couple of weeks back, and I just thought nothing of it. As I do, I never think nothing of any sort of injury to myself. And a couple of days, I'm thinking, yeah, it should be fine. Keep working. It's getting worse and worse and worse. Anyway, it's now 3 weeks down the track, so now I'm really pissed off because I'm going to have to do something about it. But anyway, it is what it is. So hopefully that's just a brief summary of the seasons. The other one, oh God, constantly being asked about is the frickin' tides. The frickin' tides, man. Okay. So I think I've made enough videos about it by now that most people who watch my stuff understand where I'm coming from. Okay, it's pretty straightforward. I had a globe hanging around here somewhere. I must have chucked it out in the garage, in the trash. You cannot pull water. Simple as that. The tides cannot work according to the globe model. Absolutely impossible. You can't pull water. You can pull water's container. You can repel water very simply. You can push water. You cannot pull water. So the moon, while it is responsible for our tides, it is not pulling them. That all the explanations that the globes give us is A, the moon pulls the tides, or in conjunction with the sun. Well, that don't work because all the tides coincide with the moon's phase, which is 24 hours and 50 minutes per day. So you cannot have a mass of one moon pulling in one direction against Earth's gravity. And bear that in mind, that Earth's gravity is at the center of the Earth, and it's got 6 times the mass of the moon. And according to the globe's explanation, the scientific explanation for the strength of gravity, it's due to the squared distance times the mass or some crap like that. So the moon is almost 250,000 miles away, 237,000 miles away, while all of Earth's gravity and the oceans together, they are 0 miles away. They are 0 centimeters away. The oceans cling to the Earth. So the moon's mass being 1/6 of the Earth, 240,000 miles away, pulling the oceans towards it. Now, I'll grant you, if you're looking for an excuse for the tides and you believe in gravity, that might almost cut it. Almost. However, we've got a second high tide on the rear side of the Earth. And the three main excuses that the globers will give you for this. Now, this is just freaking gold, man. Number one, Moon's gravity is so weak on the rear side that the oceans move away from the Earth. Hello, anybody home? Earth's gravity on Earth is pulling the oceans towards it. The lack of another force pulling the opposite direction is not going to create another force on the other side. But then they bring in centripetal force. And they'll say the centripetal force of the Earth spinning is repelling the oceans away from it, most where the moon is pulling, and again, most where the moon isn't pulling on the opposite side. But what about all the rest of the oceans? Isn't the same centripetal force acting on all of them against Earth's gravity? And it's said that it's only like 0.003% or something of an effect at the equator, and tides happen everywhere else. In fact, most of the greater tides actually occur further from the equator, and some parts of the equator have no tides at all. So you cannot claim centripetal force somehow where the moon's gravity is weakest is going to give a greater effect to cause a precise tide. Now, the tides are very precise, especially where I live here in Australia. We get them every 6 hours and 12.5 minutes, 12 and a half minutes, which is 30 seconds, which it's hard to calculate 30 seconds into 0.5, but that's the way it works. You know. Why they used 60, base 60 for everything when they could have just done 100 seconds to 100 minutes to 20 hours or something. I don't know, but that's just the way it is. Some things, they never change. Oh, fucking hell. Pretty sure I had a viewer there for a second. Damn it. He fell asleep again. So the tides are very regular. 6 up. 12 and a half hours, high to high. High to high. 12 and a half hours, low to low. Low. Sorry, I don't even know my ups and downs. So the tides are down, up, down, up. 24 hours, 50 minutes regularly. So that's why every day the high tide will be about an hour later than it was from the day before. The low tide will be about an hour later than it was from the day before. 50 minutes is pretty close. And it depends. There's many varying factors: topography, geography, distance from the moon's path itself. A lot of different things will affect the tides. But in generally speaking, you can set your watch and clock by them. If you had a moon watch clock thing to set, that'd be 12 hours. And I think, to be more precise, it's not 58 minutes, it's more like 48 minutes, which I only just came across that run recently too. So, you know, the moon isn't as precise, but if you follow a moon chart such as that, you will be able to tell precisely. Even though that doesn't have the tides in it, it would be a really good idea for them to add the tides, because it would make a lot of sense. So the tides 100% follow the cycle of the moon. So you can't even invoke the sun into it. Even though technically when there's a full moon, the tides will be more of our major ones. Hang on a second. Yeah, so on the globe Earth again, we've got the cycle, and they say it's the Earth spinning and the moon spinning backwards, the opposite way from where we see it rising. So it's actually going from west to east, not east to west as we see it. It's actually going backwards, and it takes 27.3 days to go around us once. So as the Earth spins, this bulge pulled by the moon is causing a tide there, but it's also causing a tide on the backside. And so then the next thing that the globers will gravel at is saying that not only is the moon have enough gravity to pull the ocean towards it for the number one high tide, but it pulls the Earth through that bulge of its own oceans just enough to create the second high tide on the back. That is pretty much the most official explanation you will find. And anybody with an ounce of logical thinking can easily say, well, hang on a second. If it's pulling the oceans and it's pulling the Earth through its own oceans, well, that's going to negate number one tide near the moon. And not only that, at the rear side of the Earth, Earth's gravity is still going to be strongest. And that's going to pull the oceans back to it anyway, with the moon's gravity on the other side. So everything about the globe, explanation for tides, don't work. It's just one excuse after another because they really, really, really want their gravity to be real. The force of biggity, the strength of mass attracting mass. Whereas a tiny little mass, 250,000 miles away, is also attracting billions and trillions of tons of oceanic water that way and against all the gravities pulling that way for a second high tide. You know what I mean? So any globehead that tries to bring up tides as proof of the globe, and let's not go into the third body program of how we've even got a problem of how we've even got a moon. Okay, I'll get there. But the tides debunk the globe Earth, let alone normal oceanic observances. Water will always find its flat and level. Waves are going to smooth out any bulges anyway, and the swell and the wind and all the rest, and tides are just going to add to it even more. And you'll see the globers present memes. Some people call them memes. I hate that word, meme. I just say meme. They'll present memes showing water curving to show tides even on the flat Earth. And that's wrong as well. It's not curving, it's just changing level. It's just going up and down, up and down. It's a slow, gradual change of the level water. That's what tides are on a flat Earth. Well, I could tell you the cause, but why would I when I've already done dozens of videos, or 3 videos explaining how tides work on the flat Earth. They're logical, they're obvious, it's easy. They don't work on the globe because I'm here busting the shit out of the globe. I'm just telling you, they don't have tides on the globe. They can't have tides on the globe. They are impossible. Curving water is impossible on the globe. 70% of the surface, flat and level water, as observed. Where does the curvature compensate? Always somewhere way, way out of sight, out of mind. It just does. Just believe us. We got gravity, man. One by bag of gravity, it'll pull the Earth into a ball, man. Just believe. Anyway, I'm not going to rant for long. Got work again in the morning, and as I say, I'm not feeling 100% well. I had a bit of a big one last night. It seems as much as I like red wine, drinking a whole bottle in a sitting isn't a good idea. It's not good for the constitution. And this damn bloody elbow that I banged right on the bone. You know, when you bang right on that bone, it's not funny. You'd think I'm just not healing as quickly as I used to when I was younger anyway. I am 52, so I guess when you face reality, you can't stay forever young. But I suppose I did put it in the title that I was going to talk about the hair and how to grow magnificent long locks even when you're 52 and going slightly bald and not is the secret to it is to grow it. All right, well, thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time on the Iron Horse channel. Cheers.